And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Sly Dice from Brain Games. Kind of a start cover here with a fox on it. This is a game in which you're going to be rolling dice and lying to other people about what you've rolled, or maybe telling the truth, trying to roll different combinations. That sounds like a fun combo. It really does. Let's find out. In the middle of the table, you're going to put 4 combination cards. 3 of them are random. 1 of them is always in the game. There's a pile of cards that are drawn. We also have some false accusations and successful bluffing cards. Each person is going to get 3 dice. 3 dice are going to be placed in the middle of the table. Players are going to take their own dice and put them behind a little shield here, as well as players are going to get tokens that match their color. Now, each turn of the game, one person rolls the dice in the middle. So here you see 2, 4, and 6. The other players are going to roll dice behind their shield. Now, you can stick with what you rolled. So for example, I see I rolled a 4, 4, and 3. But I prefer to re-roll some of them. So I put that there, and I'm going to re-roll just this one. Now I'm going to put this one forward, and I can re-roll again. But that's pretty much the only times I can re-roll. Now, then, starting with whoever is the start player, that's the person who rolled the 3 dice, each person is going to claim one of these things out here in the middle. So maybe the other person says they have 5s, and they say how many 5s they have. So they'll say, I have 3 5s. Well, that means all 3 of their cards are 5s. I'll pick this one here and say, all the dice I have are even. Now, when we say whatever this is, this includes the dice here, and it includes the dice that we have. And each person goes. Now, a person can call you out on what you've said. If no one calls you out, you are going to get the points on that card. So this one gives you 20 points. This one is 3 of a kind, which gives you 15 points. I could have called that one and no one could say anything because you can see there's a 4, 4, and 4 here. But I said evens, and so you see even, 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 even. The only one they don't know about is that one. So they have to decide to call me out. Now, if they don't call me out, I get 20 points, and I say, ha, 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 I was lying, and I also get one of these successful bluffing cards. If they do call me out, well, I get no points, and I take my chip back off the card. If they call me out and I was telling the truth, let's say this was a 2, then I'm like, and I still get the points, and they get one of these because they have no faith in humanity. That's what the rules say anyway. And then the next round, we'll bring out another card. Now, these cards, you can only do each card once, so you'll leave your marker on them. Some cards, once you've done them, like this one here, for every 1 you get 1 point. So I can say I have 3 1s, and I get 3 points. But later on, I can change a die to something else. Here, this one I need to have, all the dice need to be greater than or equal to 26. Here, they all need to be odd. Here, I need to either get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 of a kind, everything less than 16. Here I get 3s, 3 times 3, but also later on I can add 2 dice to make them into something else. And this lets me re-roll some dice in extra time, and this is 4s, each give me 4 points, etc. If you don't want to do anything, you can always do this card here, which means you're going to go higher or lower. So I roll the dice here, and I say 12. Okay, I'm going to go lower, so now I have to roll less than 12. Okay, I didn't. I should have said higher. Let's say I did say higher. Ooh, 15. But now I have to roll higher than 15. Yeah, it didn't happen. You do that 3 times and you'll get 15 points. So, each round of the game, players are going to keep track of their points. They'll be doing so on a score sheet here. At the end of the game, you are going to get points for every one of these that you have and lose points for the false accusations. The points that you win and lose is based on how many you have, and there's like a formula. So if you have only one of them, it's 10 points. So if I have one of these, I get 10 points. If I have one of these, I'll lose 10 points. If I have 2, then I will get 15. Or I'm sorry, the second one I have is worth 15 points. The second one of these you have is minus 15 points. So they cancel each other out to some degree. So if I get 3 of them, I'm going to get a whole pile of points here because I'm going to get 10, 15, and 20 points. That's a lot of points. And if I only got one of these, I'll only lose the points for just having the one of them. So I'll take those points plus the points that you've scored during the game, and whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, I really like the concept of Sly Dice. I like the idea of rolling dice. I mean, essentially, it's taking dice, mixing it with Texas Hold'em poker, right? Because there's some dice in the middle. You're using those dice and the dice that you have behind your shield to form something. I like the idea of claiming a card and then that card giving you a special ability. I like the idea of claiming the things. I like the idea of when someone accuses you and you get points for that, and you get points if you get away with stuff. The concepts of this game are really down there. Now, I'm not as big of a fan of the components. The chips are okay, I guess. And the chips have an X on one side and nothing on the other side, so when you use the special ability, you can flip it over. The dice are, alright? I'm a dice guy. I like dice. And these are, dice. They're okay at best. Honestly, this game should have colored dice for each player. If they're going to include enough dice, they should have purple dice for the purple player, and they should be nice dice. So this is a game about rolling dice. These dice should be... That's all minor, though. Where I have a problem is the game itself. I like I said, all the concepts, but they don't really flow together. First of all, the point system is just all over the place. Ooh, I rolled 4 ones, so I'm going to take 4 times 1, 4 points. You rolled 4 sixes and you're taking 24 points? That makes sense. It doesn't. You're like, well, the ones card gives you a special ability you can use once. Whee! Really? This game. And you can re-roll dice behind your screen, but you have to put 1 forward. If you do that, you now have 2 hidden pieces of information. You can only bluff on some of the cards. Let's say a card is a straight, and in the middle someone rolls a 2 ones. Well, you obviously don't have that straight then. So you're kind of pinned down to the hidden, at most, 3 dice. And if you have 3 dice, it's basically what you roll. So you got to practice rolling and going, I got what I wanted. And that gets kind of old after a while. So what happens in this game is people will lie, because lying is important and to get away with stuff, but they'll lie about the most inane stuff just so someone will call them on it, hopefully, or that they'll get away with it. I mean, not that someone will call them on it, but that they'll get away with it. Like I have, there's no ones in the middle of the table. And I roll, I'm like, I have 1 1. And I'm like, oh, whatever, take the 1. What I know, I'm not going to call you on it because I have no information to go by as to whether it is you lying or you're not. And sometimes a game where lie or not can do well. You know, one of my favorites is Sheriff of Nottingham for that same reason. But here, it's just not the same thing. Not to mention, it's a little confusing about these cards. Okay, so if you lie successfully, you get this one. If you call someone out for lying and they were telling the truth, you get this one. And I almost wish they just gave them both to the same player, because every time it's like, okay, I called you out and you were lying, but that was correct. So you were lying, I called you out, that's correct. No cards are given out. I almost would rather be, you get called out, and if you were telling the truth, you get this, and if you were lying, you get this. That just seems like I've run into a little bit of confusion with that. The combos are just not that interesting. I mean, the concept of the game is good, but there needs to be more hidden things. Comparing this to Texas Hold'em poker, you could have many different combinations in your hand. Maybe he has a pair of kings, maybe he has a straight, maybe he has a flush. Who knows what the player has? Because they have more cards in their hand and not just a few dice like this game does. Like I said, this is a cool concept, and I think this game could be developed into a really good game. And the game is not unfun, it's just hits that horrific thing you don't want in a game. It's boring. I roll and it's like, oh, I rolled a straight. What can I do? They can't stop me. There's a 4, 5, 6 out there. I rolled a 1, 2, 3. Yay! I'm telling the truth. And you can lie and bluff that you've done it, but again, you can only do that in certain situations. The special powers, great idea. Why is there not more of them? Why are they not more interesting? So, like I said, I love the concept of this game, but it just doesn't go far enough to make the game very interesting, and I'd rather just play a straight game like Liar's Dice or something like that instead. Dice Tower Judgment? Almost!
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at coolstuffinc.com.
Shut the door.